Our next speaker will be Frau Bacher. She's the first deputy to the president of the citizenship of Rostock. Furthermore, she is a former student of this school and nowadays politically involved in the Social Democratic Party. Frau Bacher, you have the floor.
Dear Mrs. Brettschneider, President of the Parliament of Mecklenburg-Western Vorpommern, dear Mr. President Rabe, dear Mr. Secretary Hartwig, dear Mrs. Koch, dear guests, dear friends, dear participants of the Conference of the United Nations in Rostock, BALMUN, a conference, a model conference, which is a little bit different in character and concern, but I think the differences are negligible. Decisive is the intention and your dedication to this subject. I'm highly delighted to welcome you here in our wonderful city of Rostock, a city with a great Hanseatic tradition, but as well a modern and very lively city. As I got to know, you, in part, long distances were to be covered by one or the other of the 150 participants. Some of you are here for the first time. Some of them are highly experienced members. Additionally, I like to say that you are right to come to Rostock, an open-minded city with many cooperations on a partnership basis. We have about 13 partnership cities, and one of them from 557 onwards. And I think you have heard about the UBC, and there are more than 100 members of this combination. That means we are accustomed to welcome and to host guests. It has caught my interest, as well as my hope, that you will be part of the generation who can bring real changes to a modernized and globalized world with all these advantages, consequences, and problems. The list and the contents of your committees, environment, human affairs, politics, security, etc., have attracted my attention because you have chosen your fingers or put your fingers on the points of pain in our modern society, globally and regionally. I have learned that this way of dealing with political affairs had a tradition here. Were initiated by students, takes place in Rostock for the 5th time, and has been organized primarily by high school students. So my congratulations to this grand project, which enables you to start getting involved in politics very soon. In fact, you can't start too early. It is a pleasure for me to observe you being interested in political life in general. Which board is more important than the United Nations, engaged in human and other affairs, and which topics and methods of dealing with them can make you more large-minded and active for political life around you than these modern and model conferences. Meanwhile, this Baltic conference, BALMUN, is one of the outstanding and precious pearls in the string of steady MUNs. And I myself would like you to encourage you to pay special attention, next to the others, to the point of human affairs, concerning the task of empowering women to take part in life generally and in political life especially. Speaking for Rostock and its city parliament in the Bürgerschaft that I represent here, we have 53 deputies there, but only 21 assemblywomen. Some of them are young mothers, and they work there, and it's often hard for them to combine motherhood, profession, and this honorary post. So we have decided to launch a court order that they can hire a babysitter for the time of being duty on the cost of the city, as an example to support them. Equal access to education from the start onwards is another request we attach high importance to. We have at our disposal a multitude of kitas, kindergartens. We can supply nearly every family which have got the demand with a place in a kita. Nearly 90% of the children over 3 years attend a kita. And for the older ones, we have modernized all the remaining 80 school buildings and nearly all the gymnasiums. Especially in the new built areas, we have introduced a so-called Bildungslandschaft, which links all the proposals concerning education on the largest sense and in this region in order to provide all the children with every kind of education, inclusively cultural education, which has a high value for us. But I know there's a lot to do at other places, everywhere, and you can do a lot to debate about the deplorable state of affairs and the improvement of the situation anywhere in this field. On the other hand, Rostock, as a city near the Baltic Sea, is engaged in developing modern ways of generating energy. First of all, as you can imagine, wind energy. Modern and substantial wind parks are being built near the coastline. So we are on the right way into a clean future, or better, a cleaner future. Also, you can see the stack of the coal power station from afar, and I'm afraid it will be there for a while. My third focus is the point of inclusion in the Baltic region in social, educational, economic, and other matters. We perceive the fatal effects of the global warming, the weather changes, the stumbling ecological balance, or more misbalance, the overfishing, the consequence of agriculture and meat production on a large scale, and its impact on the environment and the human life there. We suffer from the greenhouse effect, etc., etc. But there is a growing environmental awareness, as well as among young people, and rising readiness of being active in such fields. In the next future, we will be able to solve all these problems only in common. Mastering the English language, among others, will help us to communicate, to work, and live together. It is only a short trip to the Baltic countries by plane or by ship, and it is such a pleasure to meet friends everywhere. I hope the occupation with politics on this level will open your interest of being involved in political matters as well now as later in your future, in order to work for a better future for all. Children, workers in every job and at any place, inclusively plants and animals, because they guarantee our life. Perhaps you will be able to work in a town like Rostock, larger or smaller, everywhere where there are people, because you are needed everywhere, because at this level you have the closest contact to and connection with people, with their hopes, anxieties, their wishes, and their ideas. But wherever you will be in future, don't forget that you are needed everywhere, not only in business and commercial life, but as well in the political life, and that at any level, not only in the Bundestag or European Parliament, as well at a municipal level, a job that is often harder, more stressing, more time-wasting, and mostly paid worse than other jobs. But there is no time left for an early beginning. So I wish you interesting debates during these days, a friendly and open-minded communication, and many experiences and new conclusions for your later life, and of course, many new friends. The more friends we have got, the better our world will be. And I'm sure many of you will be there and here next year. And so long, good luck for you and all the best.